Okay, chat, is it time to watch 50 minutes of Corrupts? Ladies and gentlemen, I think it is.
Arguably the most controversial map in Call of Duty Zombies. Despite having a short history of records compared to other maps.
If you hate 5, I hate you.
It's had one of the richest histories, full of controversies such as cheated records and hidden gameplay. So what makes this map so unique?
Why
is
makes
there such a
5
rich
so
history?
good, dude? I don't know.
And how have
You
players
tell me,
pushed a map to its limits?
Yeah. Dude, 5 is such a hard map
November
to
9th,
get
2010,
high rounds.
Call of Duty Black Ops 1 was released,
map I don't like going
bringing
for
back a
lot
more
of
modern version of zombies from its very successful predecessor, World at War. However, unlike its predecessor, Black Ops 1 would launch with 2 zombie maps, Kino der Toten and 5. While both received criticism.
Chat, there's only one best zombies map of all time on the screen. Which one is it?
Criticism from the community. Kino was favored much more due to it being more casual friendly and overall more enjoyable. Although, the same could not be said for 5. Despite adding new features to the game such as buildable electro traps, bonfire sails, and a new boss round, it was widely accepted as a bad map because it was too difficult.
I know, at the beginning it was
due to the fact no infinite damaging wonder weapons existed, and the map being extremely small, allowing players to easily get trapped in a horde of zombies. Because of these two factors, many casual players and high rounders would leave this map in the dust, besides a select few. However, it would only take 1 day after the game's release, the first known record was achieved.
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
On November 10th.
Chat, were some of you even alive at this date? Okay, how old were you in 2010? I was 12. Oh my gosh, if I was 12, some of you probably weren't even here. Some of you probably weren't even alive.
2010. Excalibur would achieve round 33 running the Pentagon room strategy. This strategy cut the 2 door barriers in the Pentagon room open, which allowed the player to go in a loop around the entire room.
So he was the first person to figure that out.
Despite a few inconsistencies with the strategy, it was pretty consistent for its time. Furthermore, to stay alive longer, Excalibur would buy Juggernog, allowing him to survive up to 4 hits instead of 2. And Speed Cola to reload his weapons faster. Also, there is one more perk he bought, but did not show up in the gameplay. That perk was Quick Revive. Because Excalibur was playing solo, buying Quick Revive allowed a player to get 3 more lives before the game over on their 4th. Due to this, Excalibur would achieve round 33, making this the first and surprisingly one of the longest held records.
Round 33 for like the first day of the map coming out in 2010 is disgusting. That's insane.
Unfortunately, it would lead to one of the most shocking
This was
games
the OG
ever
round
played.
100, in my opinion. Round 30. Like, you try to get to round 30.
In fall of 2011, a very popular zombies YouTuber named MrDalekJD would achieve round 74, beating Excalibur's previous record by
John actually got a 74? Damn.
41 rounds. Furthermore,
Chat, I never did BO1 high rounding. I was too much of a pubescent.
Dalek would achieve 8 million points, making this one of the highest amount of points achieved in the zombies game. At least, that's what everyone thought. It wasn't until 6 years later, an unknown but very knowledgeable player, Randall, would make a video explaining how Dalek's game was cheated. However, before I explain...
No, fam! Oh, no! Oh, this is not good! Oh, no! Well...
why this game is cheated, I'll need to explain the basics of the map first so you can get a better understanding.
Abs in the chat, boys.
Let me explain.
It happens to the best of us. They catch us sometimes.
Are traps which will shock the zombies and kill them instantly when they run through it, no matter how high of a round you're on. In total, there are 2 electric traps on the map which are located near the first room. One near the Quick Revive machine, and the other near the MPL wall buy. Speaking of wall buys, let's talk about why they're important. If you remember at the start of the video, you might have seen a player or 2 holding the MPL on round 100 or even 200 plus. While it might seem odd to carry a weapon that deals almost 0 damage on such a high round, it's a key part to running high round strategies. The reason for this is because while the points deal almost 0 damage, they'll provide points to a player. To be exact, 10 points per bullet. This is extremely important as electric traps cost 1,000 points to activate it.
You gotta make your money somehow, chat. It's just like real life.
Remember, I was talking
you ain't
about
making money, why you even exist?
5.
You know?
This boss round introduced a new NPC called the Pentagon Thief. This boss chases you around the Pentagon until he takes one of your weapons. However, you can kill the Pentagon Thief before he takes one of your weapons.
I mean,
if you do kill him before one of your weapons are stolen, you'll get a max ammo which refills all ammo in your weapons, and a bonfire sale which allows players to upgrade their weapons via the Pack-a-Punch for 1,000 points instead of 5.
Well, then try if you miss a bonfire sale. I mean, the bonfire sale should have been a staple power-up ever since 5. It's like the same thing they did with Voltrade, man. They introduced it and they just kind of forgot about it. Like, come on, man. It sucks that we don't get bonfire sale from this point forward, chat. I don't think you see it until Class 5. From BO1 to BO4.
1,000 points per weapon. Obviously, this is really useful if a player wants to speedrun the map, as they only need to spend 3,000 points instead of 15,000 to Pack-a-Punch their 3 weapons. Despite this, if a player does get one of their weapons taken away, they can still kill the Pentagon Thief. If they do, they won't get a bonfire sale. Instead, they'll still get a max ammo, but will also get a fire sale, which allows a player to hit the mystery box for only 10 points instead of 950.
I mean, it's a fire sale,
because
but it ain't a bonfire sale.
Because the game allows a player to get either a bonfire sale or a fire sale from the Pentagon Thief, the player can decide which is better to get depending on the situation they're in. Okay, now that you understand the basics of 5, let me explain how Dalek's round 74 game was cheated. First, let's take a look at his points.
Chat, thank God I didn't exist pre-2010. I'd be in one of these videos. For sure, chat. Literally, I got into BO1 zombies because I would do glitches all the time. I knew all the glitches on like Shang and like Moon, and that was like my thing back in BO1. I knew the glitches. Dude, I'd be in this video, chat. It'd be terrible.
Right before Dalek died, he had 8,255,560.
I mean, it'd be like that, chat. It's
However,
legit, bro.
When he died and
like
the game brought him to the game over screen, you can see how many overall points he earned in this game, which was 8,388,370 points.
Song, Corrupts. Why did you use the song?
810 points in this game. This is very odd considering Dalek could only hold the electric trap 130 times. Now, this doesn't sound like a problem if you're unfamiliar with the game. Although, you can only have 24 zombies on the map at one time. Once again, this does not sound like a problem until you realize past round 6, more zombies will spawn the higher you go up in rounds. As an example, there are 516 zombies on round 74. Divide that by 24, and you get 21.5 hordes. So, you'll have to activate the trap 22 times if you want to kill all the zombies to get to the next round. Furthermore, up to round 74, 13,577 zombies spawn.
Chat, this is why I didn't go for 5 round 100. Let's be honest. There's no fucking way I'm gonna make it. Like, dude, you see the 5 round 100 has got to be one of the hardest round 100s you can do. Like, if you can get to round 100 on 5, you're an absolute.
However, this is excluding boss rounds, which can occur on a 4 to 5 round interval. Yeah. If we are generous, we can give Dalek a boss round every 4 rounds, which is the best luck you could receive for the least amount of zombie kills.
Like
if we do round 74 divided by 4, we will get 18.5 rounds, which
we're
were
using
non-normal
math
rounds.
To take
so
out
let's
Mr.
round
Dalek
18.5 to 19.
This is more of a Dalek exposed again video.
19, and that gives us 55 normal rounds. This is still problematic because 6,073 zombies
can't combat the data,
55 total rounds.
What can I say?
Lastly,
you can't combat the data.
If we do 132 trap pulls times 24, which is the amount of zombies in one horde, we would only have 3,160 zombie kills.
You guys think I will ever cheat anything? The reason why I won't is because Krups himself will hold me accountable. I mean, look at this. You can't, like, chat, I can never cheat because this motherfucker's gonna figure out. By the way, I did the math wrong here, so my bad on that part. However, the points he achieves is still definite proof he cheated. I mean, it's kind of obvious. 8 million points by round 80? You can't do that. I don't care who you are. Okay, you can't do
Yeah,
that.
this becomes problematic as Dalek technically could have killed the zombies with his ray gun, though it doesn't explain why he had over 8 million points on round 74.
You just don't do
Remember
that.
when I said he only spent 132,810 points? Well, to earn points, Dalek had to buy MP5K ammo when he ran out, which cost 500 points per ammo buy. If we do 132,810 points divided by 500 points, we will get 265 ammo buys. Assuming Dalek got 120
chat, thank God I
per
didn't
ammo
exist
buy,
pre-2010. Can I get a drink in the chat for that? I'd be on this video.
120, which gives us 31,800.
I'd be on this fucking video.
Lastly, if we were counting
Drinks in the
Dalek,
chat. I didn't make it. I didn't make it.
Maximum amount of zombies you can penetrate with one bullet, you'll get 30 points. So let's do 31,800
5-star, but
bullets
the high rounds
times
is like
30
brain
points.
It's not, because it's not really like you're hoarding in a
points
circle.
earned.
It's hard.
That's
it's like
only 954,000
it's worse. It's like stress
points earned
for
out of
rounds.
the 8.2 million he claimed to have. At this point, I can safely say with certainty Dalek's round 74 game was, in fact, cheated.
Woo!
As surprising as it is to hear a multi-million subscribed YouTuber cheat a record, it wouldn't take long until a player was up for the challenge. On October 31st, 2011,
be like,
a player named CJ would achieve round 92, completely crushing Excalibur's record. Unfortunately, there is
fast? Holy shit, that fast. Also, look at the point differentiation. 165k, by the way.
Not much to talk about this game, as footage of the game is pretty scarce. Though, it's believed CJ ran 5.1.0, the first electric trap strategy on the map. First, the player would stand in the first room, right beside the MPL trap. Then, the player would walk over to the quick revive trap and shoot their MPL for points. Lastly, the player would walk out of the quick revive area, go over to the MPL trap, and activate it to kill the zombies. While simple, it was revolutionary for 5 high rounds. Fortunately for CJ, his record would stand for a good while. However, it would be overshadowed by one of the most impressive records for its time.
Dude, it's still like, how the fuck are these not more popular?
A somewhat known player named
How do I not know about
achieved round 100 on 5, making this the first round 100 and the first reset on 5, which was...
Bro, I need it. And he reset on round 100? Really?
Unfortunately modded, just like Dalek's game. However, unlike Dalek's game, Sithbass claimed to hit a reset. Basically, a reset is where the game takes you back to the loading screen and to round 1 after a certain amount of time, because the game cannot handle more entities. I'll give a better explanation later in the video, but for right now, that's all you need to know. Anyway, what makes Sithbass reset so unique from other resets is he never got a loading screen, which is odd because every reset from before and after his game did. So what kind of quote-unquote reset did Sithbass get?
It was a reset, guys!
Reset by making it seem like his game glitched by green pixels on the screen.
No!
After the screen glitched, it turned black and he was back on round 1 after roughly 20.
Chat, that's so funny, bro. This is what I'm saying, chat. You can't cheat with COD Zombies. Motherfuckers think you can. They're like, okay, with the points and like like with the rounds and stuff, but no! You cheat! Krumps is coming out of your ass, fam. Okay, dude?
20 seconds. Unfortunately, there is no current footage I can use of this game, as it's been pretty much erased from the internet. However, based on my personal observations, as well as other players in the community, we can all collectively agree this game was cheated.
I mean, it's pretty obvious.
On May 12th, 2012, a somewhat small but talented player named Superhands would achieve round 115, fortunately making this the first.
This is how you know it's legit, chat. The 480p quality, this is how you, like the perks. The awful lot, see, this is how you know it's legit, chat.
Round 100 on 5.
This is the way.
What makes this record more unique from the fact is it was the first round 100, and it was a strategy Superhand to use.
Tell me what map they can get, help me get around 100 that is easy.
CJ
Revelations is a great start,
Superhands ran
man.
a really scuffed version of 5.1.0. First, Superhands would stand in the Pentagon room near where the big elevator is located. Then he would do one big loop around the Pentagon room to get a horde of zombies and allowed him to gain points using MP5K.
I mean, like,
Once he did the big loop, he would go up to the stairs to buy MP5K ammo.
Interesting, okay.
Then run to the small elevator which leads to the first floor. Lastly, he ran to the MPL trap, waited roughly 1 second, and went into the first room.
Weird, it's like a very long version.
And immediately ran back to the elevator to repeat the strat. However, there is one thing I did not note. There's a recharge time on the traps. Once a trap is activated, it'll stay on for 40 seconds. Once the 40 seconds are done, it'll take 50 seconds until the trap recharges.
What?
So, to get around that...
That's fucking bullshit. 40 seconds for a 50-second recharge?
Superhands would repeat the strategy like usual. Though, this time he would run through the quick revive trap area and head over to the MPL trap to activate it. Okay, after explaining this strategy, I think it's safe to say is more than scuffed. Like, why the fuck would you use an elevator to go downstairs to gain points with the MP5K instead of just staying upstairs?
I guess because it's safer. Like, this is the thing. People don't get, like, when we didn't understand all the fastest strategies and the spawn manipulation. Because that was, like, within the last 5 years, in my opinion. People had to play to fucking, for their life, man.
Stairs and using
we didn't
the
know
MPL.
all this shit.
Well, that's a good question to ask because this record is probably cheated. How you ask?
Really?
That's another good question because only one person from this area,
gameplay is cheated?
considers this game cheated. So why am I considering this record unlegit based on what one person says? Well, if you remember the strategy I just told you, you might have noticed something odd about it. It was the amount of points Superhands was making. Instead of gaining points, Superhands was staying even. Now that isn't a bad thing. Staying even with your points is very important when running a trap strategy. Although, what makes this odd is how many overall points Superhands gained in this game. When Superhands died on round 115, he gained over 3 million overall points. If we compare the amount of points he earned to modern day players who are very good at gaining points, you can see the massive difference in points earned. Hell, if we compare a round 167 game played 8 months ago compared to Superhands game, you can see there's only a 200,000 points difference.
No, the 480p gameplay cheated.
Which is huge considering the round difference between
not the 480p.
is over 52 rounds.
They fucked me over on the 480p.
I think we can collectively agree Superhands round 115 game is most likely cheated.
Not the 480p, man. That's like my one way to trust records.
For the zombies community, a new era of 5 records would come, halting any cheating for almost a decade. This period would be titled the optimization era.
I mean, it's because all the other games also came out.
8 world records would be set on the map. The first one being set on April 7th, 2013. Achieving round 160.
This just makes Dalek's 8 mil by round 80 even more ridiculous. I know, right? When a round 167 game can barely even get 4 million.
Absolutely blowing CJ's previous world record out of the water. Furthermore, this record would run 5.2.0, a strategy created by FishyZor back in 2012. Just like CJ's strat,
dude, 5 and 5 is a legend, man. This guy's made a bunch of the strats.
However, this time you would use a quick revive trap as well. This would make 5 much more faster and, in some cases, safer than 5 1.0. On top of that, Steve became the first person to set windows on 5. If you don't know, 5 has 6 windows in the first room, but only 4 windows can be accessed. This means
dude, this is why I hate 5 trap. Look at your gameplay right now. Look at this.
A player
it's just stress.
Look at
this.
Using an elevator in the Pentagon room, which leads all the way down to the laboratory. Obviously, this was necessary if Steve wanted to use 5 2.0, which required 2 windows near the quick revive trap to be closed. Fortunately, he was able to do it and got the world record, eventually sparking immense popularity in the community to play the map and attempt the world record. As a matter of fact,
because he was
it would
able
take
to
less
just
than
manipulate the
for
spawns
Steve's record to be broken.
Damn.
On April 12th,
that's what happens when you find something, bro.
King Jack Offsuit, arguably
King
one of the
Jack,
best players
the
of his
homie,
time,
dude. I
would
know
reach
this
round
guy.
175.
Damn.
making this the first time anyone had reached insta-kill rounds on the map.
Wow.
If you don't know, insta-kill rounds is a bug within the game.
He was the first one to reach insta-kill rounds? Dude, shout out to him.
This happens because the zombie's health increases over time until it reaches round 163.
He grabbed the death machine? How ballsy are you?
2-bit, which has a maximum value of 2,147,000,000.
Guys, everyone after me. Everyone after me. We've watched enough of these videos. Go back. 2,147,483,647.
So any number attempting to go above
it's just that easy.
In this case,
it's just that easy.
Health, it automatically resets it back to round 1. Obviously, insta-kill rounds make the game faster.
I just know that number.
Usually safer, so you can see why this is a big deal. Furthermore, this record was pretty impressive. And it wasn't just because King Jack reached the first insta-kill rounds on the map.
I think that is crazy.
King Jack was attempting to reach the first round 200 on Black Ops. Unfortunately, Jack would never become the first to reach round 200.
No.
It's just 5 days prior to the round 175 5-game, Magic Gold Box would achieve round 209.
2013 was a wild time.
Despite this, it's pretty impressive knowing
it was pre-BO3 days, chat. 2013, pre-BO3. That's how OG it was. BO2 was the latest COD. Origins had just dropped. That sounds so funny to say. Origins had just dropped. Like, that's how old 2013
which is widely considered one of the hardest maps for Black Ops 1. Fortunately for Jack, he would eventually reach a round of 209 on Derice. Just 3 months after his 5-game.
Yeah.
Although it wouldn't take long until Steve's brother, Scotty
know.
I3, would attempt
Dude, like all of his records just got beat by everyone, man. That's the craziest shit.
Scotty would eventually reach round 93 on October 9th. While far from the record, Scotty would make some improvements over the next couple of weeks, eventually reaching around 176, beating the previous record by just 1.
No!
It's all.
Dude, that's such an L. That is such an L. You play all that time just to beat someone by 1 round. I mean, come on, chat. Like, that's just the most dick move thing you could do.
Awesome as it was for Scotty to get a new record, he still had his eyes on round 200.
That's literally the most dick move thing
it wouldn't take long until his dream came true. On November 27th, 2013, exactly 1 month after his round 175 game,
he hits that 176.
Scotty would reach round 202,
he hits the reset.
The first round 200 and the first reset on 5. This was significant as hitting the reset made Zombies an official speedrun. Okay, I know that sounds odd because if you have some knowledge
a speed run, more like a speed fucking marathon
on Zombies, you know the game never
first actual reset, yeah,
right?
Made by Steve's brother.
Technically. See, unlike other games that are speedruns, Zombies does not have an official ending. So how does that make Zombies a speedrun?
Now it does.
Well, there's a reason why I said Zombies does not have an official ending, though it still has one.
Man,
if you remember from earlier, I was explaining insta-kill rounds and how the maximum value the game can hold is a 32-bit number. Unsurprisingly, the game limits how much you can play due to this number. The reason this happens is because of entities. Think of entities as
boys who miss entities, boys.
These are littered all over the map.
My entities,
depending on the map, the amount of entities can vary. As an example, 5 has 591 base entities on the map.
591
now,
base
on paper,
entities,
this does not sound like a problem. Although the entities will add up every 50 milliseconds. So in 50 milliseconds, 591 entities will be added, making it 1,182. Then another 50 milliseconds will go by, adding another 591 entities, making a total of 1,773 entities, and so on.
That's a lot of entities, boys.
The entities will eventually add up over time, reaching a 32-bit number. However, just like insta-kill rounds, the game cannot go above the number, so reset the game all the way back to round 1. This is what makes Zombies a speedrun.
When you hit that
players will reset at a very similar time.
Anybody hit the max level of entities, boys? One in the chat.
Things such as
have you hit that max level of entities?
Add temporary entities when they're activated. So to say this record was impressive was an understatement. Scotty's game quite literally changed 5 forever.
Exactly.
Unsurprisingly, Scotty's game would not be challenged for a little bit. until Insane Operative came along. During late fall
what
of
a PNG
2013
that is.
to spring of 2014, a player named Insane Operative was attempting to reach the second round 200 and the second reset on 5.
Can I just say, high round record holders, including Krups, you're all insane. I just need to say that. I just need to go out and say, look how long this stream bot is. 25 hours.
Many of Operative's personal bests are undocumented.
You're all batshit
although
crazy.
It is known
Please
he got his
understand
first round
this.
105 in mid to late 2013, as well as achieving round 102, which was a 2-player game played in December of 2013, which was a world record for the time. So,
like, chat,
it's safe
what
to
other
say
game will you play 25 hours for, other than COD Zombies? I literally can't name you
Operative
a
was the
single
next
game
contender
like that.
for the world record.
25 hours,
And
fuck
he
no.
was. On April 11th, 2014, Insane Operative would achieve round 206 on 5, beating the previous record by 4 rounds and achieving the second ever reset on the map. Obviously, this was a pretty good record, especially for how optimized
And he's
it
got the
was.
insta-kill rounds here,
Scotty,
holy.
the previous world record holder, commented on Operative's video, saying the record wouldn't be beaten for a long time, as they reset 66 hours in, a near identical reset time between both records. Surprisingly to Scotty, it would only take a couple of months until a legendary player would take the record.
Ridiculous. Who's this legendary player? Who's the legendary
If you've been in the zombies community for a while now,
Toker.
or watched my Keynote to Toe and World Record History video, you most likely have heard of Extreme Toker. If not, then I have a treat for you. Extreme Toker is arguably one of the best, if not the best zombies player in history.
Damn.
How, you ask?
I mean, he is an extreme
Toker has around 160 on Dead Ops Arcade, which is a current world record.
Insane.
Around 212 on Keynote to Toe, which is a previous world record.
What, guys,
Call
that quality, fire.
122 2-player,
That's disgusting.
which is a previous world record, and a 2-player round 46 Jugside first room on Verrect, which was also the previous.
How? 45 in the fucking this room. How? Literally how?
World record. Yes.
Look at the room, man. There's no room in there. There's no guns in there. What you using in there, man?
You heard that right. Round 46 without opening any
They're fucking sneezing on them or some shit. What's going
doors.
on in there?
Keep in mind, this barely scratches the surface for how many records Toker has
This
held.
is disgusting.
So, in short, this guy is a definition of a legend. In fact, Toker would make history in July 20.
I particularly really like this video here.
This guy is a definition of a legend. In fact, Toker would make history in July 2014 by achieving round 212 on 5.
Disgusting.
Holy shit. Not only did Toker
Absolutely
nearly
disgusting.
max out the map at the time, he also made it to round 212.
Chad, here's a great question. Has someone developed type
best
2
zombies map of all
diabetes
time.
from Call of Duty Zombies?
Keynote
Yes or
after
no?
running
Black
out
Ops
of Coke revives on round 177,
yes.
which is
Somebody
insanely
has
impressive
actually
considering you
developed
only
some
have
sort
3
of
Coke
fucking
revives on
terrible
solo.
disease
Furthermore,
from playing
Toker
zombies
beat the
for too long.
previous record by 6
And
rounds
it's
despite
these high
having an
rounders.
almost identical
110%.
reset to Operative's round 206 record.
Somebody's done it.
Consequently, this would put a halt of any future attempts on 5 for almost a year.
Didn't someone
In
die?
late 2014 to early 2015, a fairly known
right
player in the
before
high round
3BL3
community,
right here.
awkwardly sneaky, would attempt to break the 5 world record,
Matt
breaking
developed a
round
trip to the hospital
207 on
from
November
DE, so
19th,
yeah.
2014. Despite getting to second place, this was far from beating the record. Matter of fact, round 212 was considered almost unbeatable, even for awkwardly sneaky who was extremely good at 5. Because of this, it would take a while until Sneaky had any chance to break the record.
Chad, if I wake up after I die and I'm in a COD Zombies map, I'll know I'm fucked. You know, I don't know why I needed to say that, but I just was thinking about it. And I was like, fuck. I hope when I die, I don't wake up and I'm like in 5.
Until late December of 2014.
That's when I know
spring
I'm
of
fucked.
2015.
That's when I know
would
it's
start
over.
grinding 5 again after a round 210 game on the map Ascension, which was just
You're gonna
3
be a
rounds
voyage?
away from tying
Fuck
the world
no.
record. So it's safe to say Sneaky wanted at the very
Oh my
least
God,
to
especially
tie
if I'm a
Toker's record
voyage,
on
then I
5.
know I'm really
However,
fucked.
just 1 month after Sneaky's Ascension game, he would run into some problems. On round 96, Sneaky would walk in the Cook Revive room.
If I go to the Afterlife arcade, at least I'm in a good map, hopefully.
Unfortunately, there was one zombie coming from the opposite side of the trap, forcing him into a cutback so he didn't die.
No.
Although, during this cutback, Sneaky would unintentionally mess it up by walking into the zombies at the last second. This forced him to use a crossbow.
That was literally aim assist, bro. Aim assist. You literally can tell he's playing on controller.
When upgraded, acts as a distraction device for the zombies. Obviously, this is an extremely useful device, but it can also be deadly if used improperly. In Sneaky's case, it was. Instead of jumping and shooting the crossbow towards a wall, he shot the crossbow on the zombie, keeping the other zombies around him. This was pretty bad as the crossbow bolt explodes after a few seconds.
And you take damage.
In the worst case, the bolt would explode, causing Sneaky to take damage and have the horde of zombies corner him and down him. Meaning the only way he could get out of the corner is to get lucky by jumping,
or just
shooting the crossbow, and praying the zombies do not glitch and get stuck on him. Thankfully, they did not. But this posed a question for Sneaky. Could he get the record if he constantly made near devastating mistakes? Maybe.
Oh no.
In March of 2015,
so that's how they
Sneaky would start up another game. Though, just like his other games, he didn't have a smooth start.
That's what I'm saying. It's just PTSD round 100.
Only just 1 hour into his game.
They literally figured this out by saying, how do I die faster? And then they just figured out the strat.
Sneaky would nearly go down in round 42 and 46. Hell, this wasn't the end.
This is crazy.
A few hours later on round 78,
like, chat, this is
would nearly go
insane.
down because he got trapped by just 3 zombies. Yeah, things weren't looking good for him. In fact, it would progressively go down from here. Once again on round 117, he would get trapped, forcing him to shoot his crossbow. Then on round 125, he would get trapped again. Oh, not down.
This gameplay is giving me a hernia. This gameplay is giving me a hernia.
131. Despite all of this, Sneaky would somehow make it to insta-kill rounds, which essentially means the game is easier and faster, allowing Sneaky to take a breather from potential downs. Roughly 3 days after reaching instas, Sneaky would not achieve round 107.
My man's got that upgraded. Guys, he's M14 gang.
Or even 200.
M14 gang took 5 round 200 boys. Let's go.
Sneaky did the impossible.
That's how you know.
He achieved 213.
What?
This record was more than impressive. It defined the
chat, and still not at 8 million points. At round 213. Oh my god.
Not only did Sneaky do extremely well in his later rounds, he reached round 213
I'm sorry, my homie,
just
Mr.
4 minutes before the reset, which is 65 hours and 30 minutes. An hour earlier than the previous records. This means a player could technically reach round 214 or even higher depending on how lucky they got with boss rounds. However, it's easier said than done because within a year, 2 players named Umco and HEM Rick would reach round 213, making this the first 3-way tie in Zombies history. Unfortunately, there isn't much to be said about these records besides Rick reaching round 213 in 64 hours, and Umco accidentally trading out his crossbow on round 100.
I get why it's the most controversial round 100,
as well as the record, resetting just 2 minutes off of reaching round 214.
That's disgusting. Dude, 2 minutes away from 214? Oh, that's
After
terrible.
Sneaky's, Umco's, and Rick's games, any record attempts for 5 would come to a halt, ending a legendary era for this map. Although, this would open a new door for record attempts. A player named PlayFan would start record attempts on the maps Moon and Shangri-La back in 2016, reaching round 132 on Moon and round 190 on Shangri-La, which was achieved without downing once and was 3 rounds away from the record. However, this would eventually bore PlayFan, making him put his eyes on 5. Within a few months of grinding, PlayFan would achieve round 150 on February 22nd and round 149 on May 13th, 2017.
I have so much respect for everyone that does this.
Although it would take a few months until PlayFan beat his personal best.
One in the chat if you would ever do this. I gotta be a tour here. This is where I'm a tour, okay?
In September of that year, Playfan would finally beat his personal best of round 150.
Like 70 hours straight of 5.
216.
I'm okay.
Finally putting an end to the 3-way tie record on 5. Moreover, this is Playfan's first ever round 200 and his first solo record. And just like Sneaky's record, Playfan reset 65 hours in, proving a round 220 could be possible, as Playfan got very unlucky with boss rounds. Also, this was around the time where 5 would get more optimized thanks to an insta-kill strategy, which used the upgraded M16 in the lab area of the map, allowing the strategy to kill a horde of zombies roughly 1.2 seconds faster compared to the commonly used upgraded M14 strategy. Lastly, in early 2018, a few players, most notably
like the optimizations now are so good that it's literally down to the second. That's disgusting, right? Like, that's why I'm saying, why would you ever try?
For the win would create a spreadsheet based entirely on resets for each individual map. Not only would the spreadsheet show the theoretical maximum reset possible on each map, but it would also tell you what you could do to remove every possible permanent entity off the map.
Treyarch did not expect Call of Duty players to do this. I'm gonna be real with you, chat. There's no way Treyarch is like, yeah, I'm gonna get a Call of Duty player to write all this shit up in an Excel spreadsheet. There's no fucking way.
One of the most common ways of doing so was turning on reduced graphic content, which removes gibs when killing a zombie. This was the most common way to extend the reset, as it extended it on every map, sometimes varying from 1 to 2 hours on a few maps, and up to 5 or more extra hours on other maps. Also, this wasn't the only thing players could do.
Chat, will they make a Call of Duty Zombies game that has no reset? Is it even possible?
Certain doors, such as debris, could remove permanent entities.
I don't think we'll ever get there.
Turning on electro traps would add temporary entities, and in 5's case, if you broke every window in 5, you could remove 180 entities off the map, essentially allowing the reset to be in between 70 to 71 hours instead of 65 to 66 hours. Obviously, this was massive for the community, as records could now be optimized more than ever, and it wouldn't take long until a few players attempted to push 5 to its limits. One of these players was Tidy Barbecue. Tidy Barbecue
Shout out to
Barbecue,
dude.
He rarely uses mic, barely talked to anyone besides a select few in the community, and only streamed when he felt like it. Despite this, he is widely regarded as one of the best players during this time. How come, you ask? Well, he currently holds the Origins high round world record of 150 on Black Ops 2, which is
what the fuck?
still being held nearly 4 years later. He would also hold the Transit solo high round record of 156.
Oh, that's how I know you're crazy.
For a year, and would reach round 131 on Die Rise.
Oh, this guy's batshit insane. Transit, Die Rise, and Origins. This guy's batshit insane.
Which is a world record at the time, eventually tying the record again just a few months later. Now, if you know anything about zombies, you'll most likely recognize that all of these maps are from Black Ops 2, not Black Ops 1. Because of this, Tidy wanted to attempt to break a record on Black Ops 1, eventually deciding to do 5 as it was one of the more harder maps, and surprisingly, 5 wasn't that optimized compared to other maps, making this a perfect opportunity for anyone to get the record, especially for Tidy Barbecue. Unfortunately, unlike the other records which have a history behind them, there was a history behind Tidy's attempts. The reason I say there was is due to Tidy removing all gameplay in 2021.
No!
In fact, on July 25th,
he went ghost, chat, no!
Tidy would break the world record by reaching around 218.
Damn.
However, just like all of his previous attempts and past records, there is no more footage of this game. Fortunately, we do know what Tidy did in his first round 100s of the game.
That's the other thing, like, Chad, ain't nobody gonna download your 218 rounds of just fucking shooting into the zombies.
Mooney, who was able to get in contact with Tidy. Also, I'd like to give a shout out to Mr. Mooney and Becca for helping me out with these world record histories. They spend countless of hours researching records that barely anyone knows about. And
that's what I'm wondering.
I'm going to link.
That's why I got respect for y'all motherfuckers, because I'm just like, dude, how the fuck do you do this? How?
Their Twitch as well as their Twitter. So if you could check them out, that would be greatly appreciated. Anyway, let's get back on track. The strategy Tidy used was like every other 5 record, 5 2.0. Also, based on what players have said, we do know Tidy made sure he optimized his reset as much as possible.
Dude, why does
by
the
disabling
chat? Why does the
content,
map look?
smashing all
Is it the
windows,
contrast?
And
Yeah.
he would
Why
run
does
the
it look like
strategy
that?
for insta-kill rounds.
Did he turn up his
allowing him to
contrast?
beat the previous record by just
Something
2
wrong with
rounds.
that gameplay.
Furthermore, it was around this time 5.2.5 came out. The strategy was very similar to 2.0, although the player would stand next to the window located near Quick Revive after they went through the Quick Revive trap 2 times. Once the player stood for a few seconds to let the zombies spawn in, they'd go the other way around to kill the zombies from both Quick Revive windows.
Yeah, that makes it go way faster,
this would make the old strat 1 SBH or second per zombie horde slower.
Yeah.
Besides that, there isn't much to talk about Tidy's
That's
record.
disgusting. Like, fuck doing
first
this.
Optimized
Chat,
record on
one
5.
in the chat, if you go back to 5 and go for a round
Just
100,
a few
you're
months
gonna
after
watch
Tidy's
this
game,
and grind
a
for a round 100.
revolutionary
Nobody's
strategy
gonna
would
do
come
it.
in the 5.
This
This
is
time
so
being called
intense.
3.0. As you can imagine,
never.
3.0 was very similar
never.
to 2.5, as it made the player do the same thing with the Quick
This shit
Revive
is
trap,
fucking
this
insanity.
time also applying it to the MPL trap. With both of these traps combined, the strategy was roughly 1 to 2 seconds per horde faster than 2.5, although there was one drawback: it was much harder. Because the player had to stand on the opposite side of the MPL trap after going through it 2 times, it meant they had to train in a very small space, essentially meaning one fuck up could cost you a down or your entire game depending on the situation.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, just, dude, you're hoarding in a fucking box. Like, there's
So
just no
theoretically
way.
speaking, a player could run the strategy all the way up to reset. However, the chances of that happening are unrealistic.
Yeah.
Despite this, that wouldn't discourage players to try it. In late 2018 to
Oh my
early
God.
2019, 2 players named TTS for Life and Yezi would try to push the map
TTS
to
for
its limits.
life!
Notably, Yezi being the better one, as he
What
reached
a
his
name.
first insta-kill rounds on 5 in September of
TTS.
2018. Unfortunately, the same could not be said for TTS. Matter of fact, out of all the
Texas
record
speech,
contenders
man.
during 5's history, TTS was arguably one of the least capable players to compete for the record.
No.
It didn't help Yezi would get the record
Sounds like me, chat.
just a few months later by reaching round 219
Damn.
on March 18th, 2019.
Shout out to this
beating
guy.
the previous record by just 1 round. Although there is one
Damn.
advantage TTS had over Yezi. It was the strategies. In Yezi's 219 game, he never used
I
a
like the
2.5
M14
or
effects that he
3.0
has on
strategy
his gun.
because at the time, people thought it was not viable enough for the record. On the other hand, TTS thought otherwise. If TTS could run 2.5 for the first 20 hours of the game, he could save enough time to beat Yezi by approximately 2 to 3 rounds.
Jeez.
Obviously, this is easier said than done, meaning it would take a few months until TTS got anywhere near Yezi's
Chat, see,
skill.
this is the thing. What's gonna take me longer? 5 round 100 or beating FNAF at all the endings?
The best zombies map of
It
all.
wasn't
That's the
until
real
spring of
question. What is gonna
2019
take the longest?
TTS would finally catch up to Yezi
I mean,
by reaching
maybe
round
FNAF will. Who
221,
knows?
beating his previous personal best by 30 rounds and becoming the first person to use 2.5 in a world record game, using it all the way up until round 130, then switching back to 5 2.0.
Damn,
With these two
what
strategies
the
combined,
fuck?
it allowed him to play
This
safe
guy's
and fast
playing
enough
the
to beat
fucking
Yezi by
Rubik's
2
Cube
rounds.
while we're playing
Lastly,
chess, man.
because TTS ran 2.5 all the way up to round 130, it would take nearly a year until his record would have competition again.
What the fuck?
After TTS's game, Yezi wanted to get his record back, but not in the way you might expect. He wanted to push the map to its absolute limits as well. Throughout the entirety of 2019,
Like, this is what I'm saying, chat. Like, how batshit insane do you have to do this? What do you get from doing this, chat? Somebody's got to tell me. I mean, you get in the video. That is what you do get.
Yezi would grind
I don't know.
5, becoming one of the first people to use 5 3.0 and
How
the
much would it
stakeout
take you for a 150 run on 5? Fucking never. A 150 run on classified's easy as fuck. It just takes forever.
kill strategy. This strat was discovered by Globox back in 2019, improving the previous insta-kill strategy by not 1 SPH, or 2 SPH, or even 3. This strategy was 4 seconds per horde faster, making it
So
one of
this
the
man's
fastest
zooming.
in the game.
Dang.
11 seconds per horde to be exact. This
That's
meant a player could
disgustingly
theoretically
fast.
get around
11
235 plus or even more on the map, depending if they ran 3.0 for a majority of the game.
Jeez.
Moreover, if a player ran 2.5 for the entire game, they could still get in the high 220s, which is insane. Unfortunately, just like TTS's round 221 record, running these strategies is easier
How is
said
4
than
seconds
done.
fast? No, it's 4 seconds faster. So what he's saying is that it takes only 11 seconds to take out a whole horde. That's ridiculous. 11 seconds per horde. That's so fast.
In fact, Magic Glowbox, who created Stakeout Instas, was also going for the record.
Like,
However,
this is just
like
ridiculous.
Yezi, they would both struggle to get
Per
anywhere
24
near the
zombies,
record
yeah.
because of how difficult the strategies were. It wasn't until fall of 2019 Yezi would finally master the strategies, this time getting more consistent games, eventually breaking TTS's record in March of 2020 by reaching around 229, playing over 7 hours faster than the previous record.
Wow.
Moreover, Yezi would reset just
That's
15
insane.
minutes away from 229,
No.
proving around 230 plus could be possible. Despite this, it was
What
argued
the
around 229 was the closest 5 will become max out for a while. At least that's what some players thought. Not long after the game, a massive
there's always
controversy
another
would
crazy
start over
motherfucker.
first box patches.
There's always
To
another
put it in
crazy
short,
motherfucker.
first box patches eliminate all RNG so you can get the weapons you need out of the first box within your first 2 to 3
right.
hits.
Yeah.
This allows a player to get a setup going within their first restart
What do you need on
instead
5
of needing to
though from the
restart
box?
sometimes
Oh, the
5
awful
to 10
Lawton.
or even
Yeah.
more times to get the weapons they need thanks to RNG.
Yeah.
The reason this was controversial is because a mystery box, which contains the weapons a player needs to get a setup going, is entirely RNG based.
It's all
On
luck.
top of that,
Yeah.
zombie patches can do.
Because
much
I
more
asked
than
about that. I was like, is there actually a statistic with the mystery box? And it's literally luck. It's literally the way it's programmed. I asked the custom mapper. You put all the guns in the box in a notepad list, and it will just randomly choose them. That's it. Your only way of getting a higher chance at a wonder weapon is if you can remove a weapon from in the box. So either by holding it or by literally like picking up like a special grenade so that you can't get it again.
manipulating
you know?
RNG. If a player wanted to, they could change pretty much anything in the game by using the patch. As an example, they could keep the mystery box in one spot the entire game so they don't get fire sales,
Yeah.
which occur once the box moves.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, this one is an extreme
Tim!
example and would be
That's
fairly
Tim!
easy to catch, but you can see why this sparked some panic within the community. It didn't help that some players actually found out Yezi's game was patched. The way they could tell this was by looking at the perk bottle's animation. A non-patch game has a
Really?
smooth looking animation, while a patch game has
It goes
a
to
more
the
stiff
left.
animation,
It goes
which
to the
looks
left.
identical to World at
You
War
can tell.
perk animations.
Oh,
So, I know what
the
you're probably
fuck?
thinking.
How do you figure this out, Chad? How do you figure this out?
Did the community catch another cheated game? Not exactly. See, while the patch can
Really?
manipulate many things, Yezi's game never showed any
Oh, this is cursed footage. You just see that shit on the screens there on chat on 5? Oh, no.
manipulation. In fact, Yezi said he used a patch in a 2-player game to fix backwards movement speed, which is a common issue on almost every zombies game.
Oh, yeah,
On console,
you can tell.
the player
Look how
walks
he
backwards
moves.
as fast as they move forwards.
Yeah.
Same with moving left and right. However, on PC, if a player moves backwards or left to right, their speed is
It's
actually
a little
slower
bit
than
slower.
moving forward.
Yeah, oh, interesting.
The only way to fix this on solo games is to load up Dead Ops Arcade, quit out, then play a map. Unfortunately,
Weird.
you cannot do this on co-op. So, some players resorted to using a backwards movement patch, obviously only changing their backwards
That's a
movement
very
speed
strange
and nothing
thing.
else. Despite this, players still debate if Yezi's game was legit or not. Whether it was true he forgot to take the supposed backwards
Chat, this is where I stand with this. If you play for fucking 70 hours, it's legit, okay? I don't care what the fuck type of patch you're putting your shit. If you're spending 80 hours of your fucking life playing this shit, it's legit. I don't give it. It's legit. It's legit.
movement speed patch out or not, we'll never know for sure. And because of that, it remains a mystery.
I mean, if you put in the
After
hours,
Yezi's game
it's
was
legit.
found out to be
no
patched,
matter what.
it wouldn't take
no
long
matter
until
what.
there was a swarm of players attempting to beat it. most notably Magic Glowbox, Cryptic Novas, and Umco, who is a previous world record holder on the map. Magic Glowbox, who is already going for the record, would become the first player to reach round 105 in under 7 hours.
What? This is disgusting. 6 hours and 53 minutes actually suck me off. That's disgusting.
Although he would eventually stop in late 2020 to very early 2021 due to personal life. Cryptic Novas would eventually get a sub 7 hour round 100 as well, back in October of 2020.
Crazy.
It would continue to work on getting faster times, eventually getting a 2 hour and 39 minute to round 7. Also, during this time, Umco would start grinding 5 in early 2021.
Oh my gosh.
Mostly focusing on the round 50 speedrun world record with no mule kick. Mule kick is a perk that allows a player to hold 3 weapons
mule kick
instead
on
of 2.
BO1.
Though Umco wanted to remove it off the map so the reset would be extended. The way players can do this on PC is by playing offline on Steam, then loading up a map of their choice. This removes Mule Kick off of every map besides Moon, and can extend the reset by a significant amount, depending on the map. Anyway, Umco would surprisingly get the 50 SR in just 1 hour and 8 minutes. Pretty damn compressive considering this was without Mule Kick. Furthermore, Umco barely played 5 high rounds since his round 213 record back in 2015. So this is a warm-up for him to get back into the map. It wasn't until summer of 2021, Umco would start grinding high rounds on 5.
That's the other thing, you need to build up to this point as well. That's the thing, it's not just, oh, you make it. In zombies, it's always you're building. That's
focusing on pushing the 5 3.0 strategy to its limits, eventually pushing it to round 110, then 120, and eventually round 135. On top of that, in the game where he ran 5 3.0 to round 135, he would reach insta-kill rounds in 28.5 hours, over an hour faster than Yezi's 229
What the fuck is that? Absolutely foul.
Around 248 hours and 11 minutes.
In 46
nearly 2 hours faster than Yezi. To put it bluntly, Umco was so good at saving time, he could theoretically max out the map. And he pretty much did by reaching round 237. Yes, you heard that right. Round 237. A 8 round difference from the previous record. This record practically...
I mean, you gotta lock up all these guys. Fucking lock them away. Like, this is disgusting.
Changed 237? Everything. When Yezi got round 229, players thought round 235 would be near the max. But Umco changed that.
So I'm curious, chat, what do you guys think is the max for 5? What round?
Or possibly slightly higher could be achieved.
What round do you guys think?
Until it wasn't. Shortly after Umco uploaded a montage of his world record, players noticed he didn't have all of his gameplay uploaded. The only rounds he did have uploaded were 112 through 128, 140 through 145.
When you don't have the footage, streamer.
162
when you don't have the footage.
195 through 200, and 208
streamer.
through 212. If you haven't noticed already, Umco is missing his final rounds of his record, and the early rounds, which are the most crucial rounds of the game.
Yeah, dude,
the reason these rounds are so crucial is because it tells if a player is using a patch.
Yeah, Cold War round 237 is jack shit, yeah.
Or to know if they open up a mod menu early on in their game.
Not like
However,
these rounds.
Players did find out Umco used a timer patch. The way they found out was because of the small timer at the top right corner. In a non-patch game, that timer is not visible. Although in Umco's game, it was, confirming he used a patch. So, now that players knew Umco was missing gameplay and patched his game,
I didn't know that.
It's led many to believe it's cheated. Furthermore, some players have asked him to show gameplay. So far,
like, chat, could you imagine playing 50 hours of a game and somebody tells you it's a cheated record and it doesn't count? I'd literally just want to never play this game ever again. Like, what the
he's not, and usually says he's too lazy to upload the rest of the game, leading to more suspicion by many players. Now, while Umco may be missing gameplay and his game was patched, there's no evidence to say his game was modded, although a large majority of the community has agreed. Unless Umco uploads the rest of his gameplay, round 237 does not count as a record.
So it's not 237,
that would change in the upcoming months.
Oh, no, it's higher than 270.
A somewhat new player named Jermaine Cubes would start grinding 5 in December of 2020. mostly going for around 100 speedruns.
I like
a
that.
6-hour and 57-minute round 100 in late
That's fire, dude. Chat, if I do some 5 shit, I gotta do it. I mean, that's funny.
March. Pretty impressive
some
considering
GIF up or
Jermaine
some
started
shit.
playing 5
That'd be
competitively
fucking
just
funny.
3 months prior.
Oh, you like 5? I like 5. Does that mean I'm gonna hit to round 237? Fuck no, baby. Are you out of your mind?
However, this wasn't enough for Jermaine. Instead of mostly going for round 100 speedruns, he thought to himself, if I can make it to round 100 in under 7 hours, why can't I push the map to its limits? Well,
Motherfuckers
to say
be
he
like,
pushed the map to its limits is one of the biggest understatements in speedrunning history.
Literally.
When Jermaine got his first sub 7 hour round 100 on 5, his highest round on the map was 105. Within 3 weeks
dude,
later,
that's insane. What the fuck? So he just
he would
did the
achieve
strat
round
perfectly.
167.
My man.
A 62 round difference.
Wow.
Then round 187 in November of 2021. Although Jermaine
I like
wasn't
his
done
monkey
just
bomb
yet.
symbol, chat.
Just
Look at
1
that.
month later,
I like the monkey
Jermaine would
bombs.
achieve round 241.
Wow. 241, so he just fucking nailed it. This guy just came out of nowhere, just dropped his fucking big cock on 5 and left. Holy shit. That's like, chat, could you imagine getting around past around 200?
There it is.
It's gonna be 24:46.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Let's go. Wait, what?
Go.
Fucking
reset.
G fucking G. Let's go.
Are these runs in
Within
one
just
sitting? So the one thing that you can do is you can pause, as it doesn't count as entities in your game, but that's just wild.
1 year, Jermaine went from a highest round of 62 on Christmas Day of 2020 to round 241 on December 26 of 2020. The current world record.
Wow.
And he did it in the best way possible. Remember Yezi's in Umco's game, which ran 5.3.0 up to mid 120s to mid 130s? Yeah, Jermaine ran 5.3.0 up to round 198. Moreover,
What
he would
the
also
fuck?
take it down on round 121, 137, and round 164.
Oh, I hate having downs consecutively. That's where it fucks with your morale for sure.
Essentially, he played round 164 all the way up to round 241 without game overing, eventually hitting the reset 70 hours, 24 minutes, and 2 seconds into the game. Lastly, this game reached insta-kill rounds in 26 hours and 48 minutes, as well as round 242 hours.
So
and
if you don't
38
hit
minutes,
insta-kill rounds
making
in
Jermaine's
26 hours and 48
241
minutes,
game
you're fucked.
with the fastest
There's no
insta-kill
way.
rounds and round 200 ever reached on 5. So
Yeah.
this begs a question: what is theoretically possible on 5? Well, if a player ran 5.3.0 all the way up to reset to play faster, missed barely any insta-kill rounds thanks to good boss round luck, and
Maybe
removed
what,
meal
like
kick off the map,
245
as well as quick
maybe?
revive to extend a reset.
That's what I'd be.
Theoretically speaking, around 245 would be possible, which isn't far off from Jermaine's
Actual
241
genius
game,
brain.
showing you just how impressive and near maxed out these zombie high rounds are.
Genius brain.
Because of this, I'll leave Jermaine's socials in the description, as well as every other player's socials. Take
Thing
care.
is, if
and
you got 245 on 5, that's nothing. Or I mean, that's like everything compared to like a 245 on BO3. You know, like 245 on 5 is like a marathon compared to 245. Like 245 is still long no matter what game you're playing, but 245 on BO1 is just disgusting.
thank you for watching.
Great video, Krups. Shout out to Krups. Rakes in the chat.